back to Cinema Vino. It's good to have you guys here with us. We got Sean Jordan,
Hello.
Shoujo, Travis Bud,
Simoy,
T-Bud, Rabs Tud,
T-Bissell,
my name's Todd Wofford,
T-Wolf.
and we are continuing our Dystopian Sci-Fi series with Highlander, 1986.
And what are we drinking?
An 80s classic. We are drinking the Bernardus Côte de Provence Rosé. Pretty good little $20-ish rosé. This is a 2021 vintage. Good looking wine. It's a nice, like, pretty color, kind of that rose gold color that we like.
Yeah, it's darker than most rosés, as far as I can tell.
And that's the cool thing about rosés is you can pretty much run the spectrum of pink colors. They can be really light and almost clear in their color, or they can be a dark, deep, like a red color.
Well, and then you get into like the brut rosés. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like those.
When you get into like the rosés that are derived from cabs and, Merlots and heavy, like, cab francs that have that deep red. I mean, they're almost like a red color, and then, you get your,
I like a dry rosé.
Mm-hmm.
This is very pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well balanced.
I get it right back there on the molars.
For the weather that we're having in Oklahoma, it's hot and humid right now. This is the great, like, summertime wine.
Yeah.
It just hits a spot. So
It was in the 90s yesterday.
yeah, crazy.
Oh.
With heat index in the hundreds.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
104 heat index.
Yeah. And so if you're doing food out by the grill, if you're doing any kind of burgers, pizza, whatever, this is a perfect match for that. If you're frying chicken, whatever,
This patio wine.
this is a good patio wine. You drink it, you get it nice and cold, it cools you off. It is perfect for that. And it's usually not terribly expensive. You can get a very good rosé for $20.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like people get real weird about like wines being the exact right temperature. Like, oh, you have to serve this at 12 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, no, fucking chill the shit out of those.
Yeah.
Pair this with
Make it
some
cold.
like, jalapeno poppers, lots of cream cheese, and a little bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon wrapped jalapenos. And
I had some really
Now I'm
good.
hungry.
I had some really good fried pickles today at the Styrian restaurant in Manford, Oklahoma.
Ooh,
They have
I
good
love a fried pickle.
Yeah, that's a really good fried pickle.
they make their own ranch.
They make their own pickles.
They make their own pickles.
Yeah. So
I like that. You guys buy pickles a lot. Are you a big pickle family?
now we don't do a lot of pickles.
Pickle me timbers.
Do
Our kids
pickles?
are too picky.
Not a lot. I am a pickle fan, though.
I like a Clausen pickle.
I like the sandwich pickles of Clausen.
Because the nice thing about Clausen is they don't. It's refrigerated only, right? So they don't do shelf stable pickles.
Cool.
So you get some real zang on there.
Yeah.
And they like the garlic in there.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's briny.
So have those pickles and have no fear of vampires.
You don't get the overly like vinegary,
Pop's a big fan of bread and butter pickles, which I do, which I love as well. But if I'm doing a sandwich, yeah.
So Highlander. This came out in 1986. This came out March 7th, 1986. 40 years ago.
40 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
This had a budget of $19 million, grossed $12.8 million worldwide. So this was a box office dud that went on its release. That has since,
It's a big budget for, I don't know what it was.
I would imagine a good chunk of that went to pay Sean.
It got
Again,
45%.
Yeah.
4 sequels and like a TV series.
So it became a
3,
big hit.
maybe 4 sequels.
Home video. This movie found a much bigger audience and inspired them to make a terrible sequel of Homelander 2. I remember, I haven't watched
Homelander? Highlander.
I'm going to keep saying Homelander because I just watched The Boys. So Highlander 2 was awful. So I don't know if I'm sure you guys have seen that, but
That's one of the, I think I saw the first, I have never seen Highlander.
out of curiosity, isn't the whole premise of Highlander that you kind of end like it's done?
Mm-hmm.
How do they make a second one?
there can only be one. That's how this movie should have been.
That's how the movie ends. It's just like he kills the last other guy.
I saw the other movie and like I had never seen this one. So I think I've seen all the other ones. There are immortal, like in the sequel, they find out that like all the immortals were like essentially aliens, kind of like Krypton, and that they could divide their power. But then also, if you were a human and you happened to fight one of the immortals and cut off their head, the quickening would go into you and then boom. Oh, I'm immortal. What the fuck?
Interesting. And then that resorts it back to they have to fight each other again, or
Yeah.
huh?
So a brief summary for people who have not seen this movie. This stars Christopher Lambert as Connor McLeod. And just for those of you who don't know Christopher Lambert, he is a Frenchman playing a Scotsman.
Yes.
With what I would call a hybrid French accent.
I wouldn't even call it hybrid.
No.
I would call it just a French accent.
And Sean Connery stars as his kind of older mentor figure. Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez.
The Spaniard.
So Sean Connery
lived in Japan and has a Scottish accent.
In a movie set in Scotland, Sean Connery, who is a Scotsman, plays a Spaniard who lived in Japan. So just for those of you who have that underscore.
With a peacock feather cape.
Yes.
That's a badass cape.
It fucking is. I love his whole drip.
So Christopher Lambert as Connor McLeod. McLeod is an immortal Scotsman who in the 1500s goes into battle, discovers that he can't be killed, and lives throughout the generations as this, Scottish warrior who lives in the present day.
Continue your story, but also Clancy motherfucking Brown as the Kurgan. So
and he ends up doing battle with Clancy Brown as the Kurgan, who is this, also long-lived, immortal, whatever villain who is, set out to take the powers of the Highlander.
But did he know that? Because the Highlander McLeod didn't know he was immortal when he first fought the Kurgan. But the Kurgan very much singled him out and was like, nobody else fights him but me.
Yeah. So Kurgan knew, but the McLeod.
But how did he know?
They can sense each other, which they don't really do.
They don't elaborate that at all.
The homeboy pops out and watches him and his girlfriend walk around in the park after they're looking at the zoo when they're looking at lions. He can't sense him when he's 40 feet behind him. Then he turns around oh, I guess he's in there. But any other time he's like, the doves to fly.
Yeah, the rules of this movie were a little bit fuzzy to me. The Highlanders
and the quickening rules. You figured he would the Kurgan chops off Ramirez's head. Even though he falls in the rubble, I figured he'd stand up and just orgasm into the wind.
That's an accurate description.
Yeah, that is the perfect. Yeah, and so much like the previous movie that we watched, this covers the blessing and curse of immortality.
It also reminds me of the Jet Li movie, The One.
Yes, I was going to bring this up.
Where he hops around dimensions, killing his other selves so that he can
the big
take
difference.
The power.
The difference is, as each Jet Li dies, the remaining Jet Lis become proportionally stronger. So when there are only 2 Jet Lis left,
there can be only one.
They are the 2 strongest Jet Lis with equal powers. But there's only one that's evil that knows about it, that is trying to kill the good Jet Li. But good Jet Li, who's a cop, has all these powers and abilities now that he's become so strong that he's able to.
And he's like, I want to do this. Yeah, as opposed to Highlander, where it's like Dungeons and Dragons, where it's XP based. I killed this guy, and he's walking around with this XP.
Do they
level.
get stronger?
Yeah, because he lifts the dude up with a sword and then throws it he's swinging. I just thought
everybody could do that.
He's swinging at the castle, at walls, and the towers falling down.
He does fuck up that castle.
Yeah, but it's not super clear to me after having seen. I think I watched the one. The Final Dimension or whatever with Mario Van Peebles was the bad guy.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of boobs in that one. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And he also somehow had illusion powers. So that was the first one I saw. And then I tried to go back. I think I saw Highlander 2 on TV.
You're telling me you watched the Highlander series in reverse?
I actually did too.
You ended with the best one and just started with all the worst ones?
So I first saw 3 on Channel 23. It aired on Fox.
Who's the bad guy in 3?
Mario Van Peebles.
I thought that was 4 or 5. It was the Final Dimension.
Yeah, no, that was 3. And so that's the first one I saw.
Oh, I think 4 is the guy from TV and Christopher Lambert.
Yeah.
I have not seen any of the Highlanders other than the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
We're not
you
spoiling.
Watch 2. I want to hear what you think about 2.
Yeah, there's something called the Renegade Cut, and I think it's on YouTube, or it's at least on Amazon Prime and Peacock, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do any research.
But yeah, I watched.
I respect that.
I saw 3 the first one, the first time. And then I went back and watched 2. So I remember from a young age seeing the previews, okay, it looks kind of sci-fi / swords and battles. Maybe it's kind of cool. 2 was horrible.
3, I think, was one of my first hits.
Okay.
No, Demolition Man was my first hit, but 3 was also a hit.
Total Recall, I think, was one of my first.
What was your first hit?
Well, 50% more.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you get bonus.
Yeah.
Sean, do you remember your first hit?
Couldn't tell you.
That's wow.
Yeah.
There's just been so many.
I'm just, you can't tell or feel it,
They
but
just
I'm
blur
disappointed.
together.
I sense that. I sense
I
the
do.
disappointment.
I do feel it.
Okay, I'm glad.
Did you watch the TV when it was on?
I caught a few episodes like here and there, but like I was like, this isn't the guy from the movie that I saw. And
It's like his cousin or something.
I
isn't it?
didn't really give a shit. They did a lot of flashbacks. I know that. I know there was a gal with like platinum blonde hair, slick back. I shouldn't give a shit.
No. I'm joking.
I love sword fighting as a kid. I was like, oh, this is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Look at this cool sword. Look at this claymore. This is
The sword fighting also not that impressive.
That's true.
No. And
Back when I was a youngster, though, it was epic.
It was
like
titties.
I had seen the Kurgan when he's fighting Ramirez, and I know somehow like Ramirez, like I had seen that part on TV, and I was like, oh, this is kind of creepy.
yeah.
That is a good fight though, because they're in the
did like
castle
that
and the
fight.
castle's all collapsing around them.
I did love that.
Where the fuck is McLeod at that time?
No.
What's he doing?
Why
never
isn't she
understood that.
running away?
Yeah, she's just hanging out, just watching this play out in this castle that's crumbling around her.
Yeah.
I always knew that he SA'd and I thought killed her. And so when I was like, they did the flash forward ish later, and I was like, this has got to be before. And I was like, no, the tower's down. And wait a minute. Did nothing happen?
Nope.
Okay.
She just fell off.
I totally would have thought that he would have killed her.
I'm glad I'm not the only person who was confused by that.
And I also thought
the implication, right?
yeah.
I also thought that Highlander was controversial because I thought they showed it like after he killed Ramirez. Like in my mind, it was much worse than what it was when I actually watched it.
You imagine more than what you actually saw.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's your opinion of this movie? Okay. What did you think of it as a kid? What do you think of it now?
As a kid, the Kurgan freaked me out. I was like, oh, this is weird. And I think I also saw him with the
neck scar with
yeah.
like the safety pin.
the safety pins.
Yeah.
Me up because I was just like, just even seeing that, I was like, oh God, no! Like it,
Yeah.
gave me the heebie-jeebies. Seeing it now, I enjoyed it. Like, I love any weird, like, I love bad movies, and I love all of the immortals and the sword
this
fighting.
borders
and
on sword and sorcery, which
yes.
is like this is your territory.
And all the quickening and stuff. And I love Henry Cavill is, making the new one, and Dave Bautista is going to play the Kurgan in that one. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Like, I like movies where they give you the premise and then they explore the premise. They're like, all right, if we have immortals, where have they been? Why have they been here? Like, what is they're fighting over some prize and there's a gift, and they kind of say it at the end of this movie, but then I don't think they really exactly say or give a shit about that in any of the rest of the films.
Nope.
They're just like, oh, you know what? We thought that was the end of the Immortals. No, JK, LOL, there's still more. They're popping out of the woodwork.
More and more and more of them.
And
They almost imply that it's like a game where there is like a winner, like it's like a tournament that is set up over the course of
It has a prize.
hundreds of years, and there's a prize for the winner.
Yeah.
Winner gets the prize, but obviously he's not the only one who gets the prize. Like there are people who have achieved the prize at some other point, but isn't part of the prize also losing your immortality and being able to die?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
well, at least in the first one that was. I don't know if that's what it was in the other.
Really go for some exposition.
I feel like in the second movie, there's like, I think he is older, and then somebody comes out. I don't know.
Like,
you know what? I'm talking out of the side of my face,
I
but
think he's mortal, but then
somebody fucks with him in an alleyway. He's like, oh, I'm going to accidentally cut off your head. And now, fuck you. We don't have to use special effects to make me de-age the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. They yada yada it to, but no, it's great because it's the same thing. They do it with like Captain America. They're like, all right, yeah, he's Captain America now. Now he's in the present. You can always go back and do a flashback of like, wait, he had this whole other adventure during World War II where we can introduce this other character. Oh no, something happened to that character. Boom. That character suddenly shows up somehow in the present and they get to do that tether. Like they do that a lot in this. I mean, they did it once where in this movie where he's dueling some guy and just gets stabbed like 8 times. And it was like, you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just going to walk away now. And
He gets shot.
But they do, they reiterate that in the TV series, like every fucking episode, I think, that I saw. Anyway, it's got an inherent built-in thing where you can expand the lore out as long as you want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a premise and then they can stretch it, you know, walk around, strut with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
This movie, 6.5.
Yeah.
Sean?
I've seen this movie a bunch.
All right.
Yeah, just this one. I never had any interest in seeing the sequels. Hopefully for obvious reasons, right? Like
Very cracked bottom lip on it. Like they show a lot of
very close up.
and I'm just like, can we get this bitch?
get this man some chapstick.
Also nipples in this movie.
Yes.
I like I thought every single episode was going to have every single movie was going to have like a long, like,
Nipple scene?
yes, basically.
Free range.
Were these nipples soapy or muddy?
Moonlit.
Yeah. And which one do you think gave Sean Connery some wood? Or none of the above?
You mean Christopher Lambert?
Well, I mean, if we got Sean Connery in the movie, I wonder what would give
Mario Van Peebles.
Zardoz.
the final dimension.
Okay, we should talk about, because Zardoz, the last movie we watched, his career was kind of in the shitter. It was kind of like leads were drying up. He did Zardoz as like a tone shift for his career.
Last paycheck.
This is him like in the prime of his resurgence, right? Where he is now a known commodity who's doing like fucking Hunt for Red October.
Is this the same year she did Never Say Never Again? It was 86 and then 87 or something?
Never Say Never was before. He'd already done it by the time this came.
What year was Never Say Never?
83.
Okay.
Would you say this is his like hot old man era?
Oh, yeah. He was definitely headed that way for sure.
So when this was 86, when was Entrapment? 90?
99.
Early 90s.
99?
Yeah, that was toward the tail end of his hot.
And The Rock was 94, 96.
Okay. And Sherlock Holmes, not Sherlock Holmes, I'm blanking. Last Crusade.
89.
89. Okay.
Yeah.
So this was close to Last Crusade, which I feel like that's sort of peak hot old man.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Red October, I think, is his peak.
Oh, Hunt for Red
92?
October is
93?
great.
October was 1990.
90?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a movie about the Russians, which you kind of ran out of steam on that theme for a while.
Yeah.
But they're back, baby. They're evil again.
Russian sub.
We are so back. Also, Russian sub commander does not speak a lick of Russian.
Yeah, with a heavy Scottish accent.
Heavy Scottish accent. No, the accents on this movie absolutely threw me off. They like, all right, here's this Scotsman. He doesn't sound Scottish at all. Here's this Spaniard. He sounds Scottish.
Yeah. Well, supposedly Christopher Lambert coming into this movie, not only is he a Frenchman with a heavy French accent, his English, they said, was pretty rough. He had to like basically help learn to speak better English.
There is literally no point in setting this movie in Scotland as a Highlander that actually has a theme in the movie. Like there is nothing in the plot that necessitates them being set in Scotland.
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah.
They could have rewritten this for
The sword, McLeod's sword looked cool though.
It did look cool. That's the only thing is they were like, I want him to have a big old Scottish sword. Like if he had a claymore. Yeah. If he had like a French rapier, that doesn't do much.
Yeah.
But then he takes the katana. He takes the katana from his Spanish master who was married to a swordsmith's daughter, a princess from Japan.
Would you slow your roll? It got folded 200 times.
800 years before that technique was ever perfected.
It's like a 747. Okay, I already forgot that line. Whatever she said.
But no, also that's the other thing is like he finds this woman who is a sword historian.
I get very horny after I stab somebody.
She definitely feels some things for swords.
Can we call her a sword historian?
Sword historian? No, because she works for the cops. She's just doing sword historian is her side gig. And she just finds like a shard of metal in like a column, and she's like, Chief, you got to hear about this. Chief, this makes no sense.
Folded 200 times.
Folded 200 times.
I do like all the sparks, though.
A lot of sparks. The spark budget on this movie was high.
Does this movie have the most beheadings of any movie you've ever seen?
Well, only 3, right?
No, I watched a lot of horror movies.
What has the most beheadings you've ever seen?
Probably one of the Friday the 13th movies.
Okay. Yeah.
He beheads a lot. Jason cuts off a lot of heads.
Yeah.
And they go flying. They kind of go.
So what would you give this movie?
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened? They have to like, I watched this movie in 2 parts. Like, I started watching it with my dad, and he was like, yeah, I've seen this before. And he was about to tell me something. I was like, no worries, I'll watch it later. I started watching it right when the random guy was like trolling, looking around. It's like, I hope I can find somebody fighting with swords, and I can, throw a machine gun.
Yeah,
I was like,
this guy who's like patrolling the streets in New York with an Uzi.
yeah. And I was like, did I not remember him? Do I need to start this over? Is this like, what happened?
Yeah.
Patrolling the streets with an Uzi, and he's just like, I'm gonna find some trouble.
And then he is hoisted in the air after getting skewered.
Yeah, Clancy
And
Brown
then
just like straight up like
is just talking to the police chief. He was like, man, I got hurt real bad. But anyway, fuck y'all.
respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that guy live?
I did not understand that.
But Clancy Brown, voice of Lex Luthor and Justice League and Superman, the animated series.
Clancy Brown, the voice of Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob.
Yes. And what else has he done? He
was the
a hard motherfucker.
the guard in Shawshank.
Absolutely.
He's got a great voice. I mean, he has a voice for VO all day.
Yeah.
And he wasn't that young in this movie, right?
I don't know.
Like, he looked young relatively to now.
Yeah.
But like, he had some years on him.
Him in the church was hilarious.
Sacred
it.
Ground.
Like,
they didn't explore that theme at all.
No.
They were like, oh, also Sacred Ground. You can't attack each other. We're not going to explore that.
guess what? They violate in one of the other movies. And I don't know if I can't give you the answer either.
But it reminded me
I
of
don't know if they both start like burning, like it's like, like vampires, like, whoa.
No.
But remember, like, was it in John Wick, like the Continental or whatever? Like, you can't fight in that hotel.
Right.
That's, neutral ground.
Until they do.
Yeah, until they destroy the hotel.
Yeah, which is like the whole premise of what, John Wick 3?
Somewhere in there. Again, I lose track.
One of the John Wicks.
So they don't break Quentin Tarantino's rules. He was like, you give rules in the first movie and you can't break them. In the sequel, that's when you're like, all bets are off.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't like what It Follows.
Mm-hmm.
They give you the rules and he was like, fuck them. They broke the rules right at the end. Like, you got to wait for the sequel to break the rules.
Did you see It Follows?
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
I enjoyed it. I need to watch it again.
Yeah. So I give it a 6.
I would also give it a 6. It's a good, fun, guilty pleasure movie to me. It's like, it's just, is it the best movie in the world? No. Is it the most thoughtfully well-written movie ever made? No. But, I enjoy Connery. I enjoy Clancy Brown just over the top villain. A lot of fun to watch. And also, it has a nostalgia factor of like, thinking of it as a kid, like you said, with the swordplay. And, I enjoyed Michael Kamen, who did the music for this. He did Die Hard. He did Lethal Weapon. He did a good music score for this. So,
and honestly, great tagline / quote, there can be only one.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
And yeah, Queen.
Oh, yeah, the Queen soundtrack is incredible.
Yeah. So,
Well, there was only like one song that I really, and they use it for the TV series. But I guess I really need to listen to the whole thing.
that's another big chunk of the budget was paying Queen to do the song.
What would be the equivalent of that now is they do a movie and have like an artist do the whole soundtrack? Like who would be today's
And the
Queen equivalent?
it would have been Bowie in the in the teens.
Yeah.
Well, what is this? Hold on. When did Freddie Mercury pass?
91.
And this was 86.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know who you would have now.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
Charlie XCX.
I think they have done a movie with Charlie XCX doing the whole soundtrack.
Rowan. Actually, I wonder who Henry Cavill. Jim Caviezel.
Jim Cavill.
Frequency.
Old Jim.
You go see Jim Cavill and you need a deal on a Buick.
Henry Cavill is going to have because I think is Henry Cavill directing? I know he's at least producing the new Highlander, and I'm sure he's going to star in.
And he's a nerd.
Yes.
He is a fucking
He is Kith and motherfucking Ken. If he's doing some like Warhammer and stuff, like I trust him.
He's a big Sanderson guy too.
And he quit The Witcher when there was like
They deviated from the books.
yes, he was like, you guys are fucking this up.
He raged
I'm
quit.
out.
Yeah. We should have him on the pod.
Yeah,
For him.
we should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get him on.
I want him to tell me about the origin of Chaos Warriors while he holds me in his lap and strokes my hair.
He is a handsome devil.
Because I'm about Warhammer, not so much the 40K. Like, I'll listen to him talk about Necrons, but, you know.
Yeah. I'll talk to him about the Sanderson, the Cosmere all day.
You know it.
Yeah.
You do it.
I will.
Let's invite
I
him.
will do it. Yeah, let's just,
Dude, hey, when
can't
you're,
hurt, you know?
if you're bored,
Yeah.
I mean, come to Tulsa on your dime. And,
we don't have the budget to fly you out.
no, absolutely.
You can stay at Todd's house.
He's got the dime for sure. And, you know, and Henry, I'm going
He's
to
top of the line. Cute face, little waist with a big behind.
and I may need him to watch kids for a couple hours while we run some errands. So,
Super nanny.
yeah.
Hey, you know what? I would leave him alone with children.
Oh, yeah.
I trust him. That's how much I trust that guy.
Oh, it's more likely they would kill him.
Oh, beans.
So when is that series coming out? What is the timeline on this?
But it's a movie, I think.
When is that coming out?
I'm not exactly sure. I think they're filming now.
Tasty.
Too far out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
But yeah, this has been another episode of Cinema Vino. Got Highlander, part 1. And
I'm going to crumb.
I'm going to quicken.
yeah, we got Bernardus.
I'm quickening.
Côte de Provence Rosé, 2021. Delicious rosé. Look for that wherever you buy your rosés.
It's very Michael Jackson, right?
Shimona.
And so, yeah,
Ham whole wheat.
tune in next time for Running
I'm
Game
on whole wheat.
with,
Ham whole wheat. Shamon.
and then so yeah, we're going to do the Running Man with Schwarzenegger, and then after that, Strange Days with Ray Fiennes and Angela Bassett. So
I'm down to get sticky.
so much sweeter than you.
Let's uncork that.
Great movies. Owen Drucker.
Bye.
See you guys next time.